Hello to all my viewers. My name is Tamara Rodriguez Acosta, and today we will be going over the development of an embedded system and MATLAB-based GUI for online acquisition and analysis of ECG signal review. Now, this article was written by Jayan Bera, R. Gupta, and M. Mitra, so the following information is not mine. I am simply reviewing it. So let's get started, shall we? Now, the problem for this article in and of itself includes the development of an ECG machine that is easy to use for patients and practitioners, as well as being cost efficient and allows the patient to move around while the test is being in motion. Now, the development for this project involves the programming and use of a microprocessor, an amplifier, and MATLAB in order to obtain the data and then further analyze it. The methods that they use in order to make their prototype involve programming the microprocessor in and of itself. It is not specified what processor they used, but they are mentioning how they use the COM ports and what they take into account when programming the microprocessor. Now, the moment that they gather the data, they have to amplify the signal because it is too weak to obtain straight from the source. Now, they amplify the signal, and then that signal is being retrieved from the microprocessor. That is then sent to the computer, to MATLAB, through serial communication in order to write the analog signal into digital and further analyze it. Governing equations that they used for their research and the work done involved the three shown in the screen. Now, the first is an equation that essentially is a conversion factor, a simplified equation of conversion of using the analog signal and translating it into a data signal, once again, for further analysis. The second one is a Lagrange 5-point interpolation that is then used in order to find the R peaks and the R points, which they then use in order to measure the consistency of the prototype itself. Last but not least, the SE equation, which is the third equation, is also used to find R peaks. However, it is used in order to determine the sensitivity of the device itself. Now, the results that they obtained proved to be accurate, as clearly stated in the article, and it allows the possibility of further developing this prototype to not only measure a single patient, but maybe up to 12. Due to the possibility of further developing this project, the prototype has to then stay within a frequency of between a kilohertz to 12 kilohertz in order to avoid the amount of data loss as much as possible. Now, for the critical review, I must admit, in the development of the microprocessor and the programming, it is very proficient, regardless, not including the coding that was used. And they are very well explained in most aspects, especially when developing the microprocessor. However, they do lack a little bit of information. The type of microprocessor could have been mentioned, as long as with the type of language that they used in order to develop the microprocessor itself would have been very helpful. The one pointer that I must highlight within this article is the fact that some of the medical jargon was not fully explained. throughout their introduction, they did explain very, very many acronyms that was very helpful to know. However, there was a few other acronyms that weren't clearly stated or clearly weren't explained, which confused myself as a reader in understanding what each of these values are supposed to be measuring. Now, there was also a mention of the values of Q peak, T peak, and other values mentioned within this article that they were mentioned very, very briefly. However, they were not explained as to their importance in the article or in their calculations, and that further explanation would have been very helpful. Now, thank you for reviewing my critical review presentation. Once again, all the information mentioned within this video was taken and shared with you from the development of an embedded system and MATLAB-based GUI for online acquisition and analysis of ECG signal. This article was written by J.N. Bera, R. Gupta, and M. Mitra. If you have any questions or concerns or comments, feel free to leave your thoughts and questions down below in the comment section. Thank you.